Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my book review video talking about a very different type of book today. Today I'm talking about a book titled Star Trek Picard, The Art and Making of the Series by Joe Fordham. This is a officially licensed product from Titan Books that I read because I am reviewing it with Literary Treks, and I believe that episode's already out as this review is coming. But I picked this book up because of that review for that podcast. Otherwise, I would never have gotten this book. And I also would like to thank Titan Books for providing us at the podcast with copies. This is a very large book. I would describe this as very much a coffee table book because it's got some beautiful artwork through it. However, I do want to warn people that when it talks about the art and making of the series, it's hyper-focused on certain elements. The costuming, the production design, and the makeup, and the working with the actors. That's what this book really delves into. It has bits and pieces about the production on like the directing and the writing of the series. I personally am most interested in the writing elements. How did the concepts of the series come to be? Why were decisions made in the storytelling? That's what I'm most interested in. And you do get nuggets of that in this book, but it's not as strong as I think as it could have been. I would have preferred the entire book to focus on the creative writing reasons, and then included artwork with maybe little details about the artwork and why it was included. But that's not the direction of this book. This book is focused on the art and is focused on the craft. I think this could have been the craft making of the series, because that's really what this is focused on, is the crafts categories. You get a lot of interviews from like the production designers and the makeup people and the costumes people and the set locations, the set decorators, things like that. That's what the primary focus of the book is. Now, I have to warn you, I am not the biggest Picard fan, at least for seasons 1 and 2. For season 3, Star Trek Picard season 3 is my favorite season of Star Trek ever. So it's really interesting to go from 2 seasons that I just did not like at all to a 3rd season, which is my favorite ever. So I was at least interested in reading the book at minimum to see what the third part of the book is. And to tell you the structure, about the first 70 pages of the book talk about the first season. And then you have about 50 pages talking about season 2, and then 70 pages talking about season 3. And I ought to be honest, the stuff I was most interested in was the stuff talking about season 1, because I think a lot of mistakes were made in season 1, and you can understand the reasoning behind the choices made. I wouldn't say that I agree with the choices. I still highly disagree with them, but I understand them better from this book. And then likewise, season 2, you get some understanding of some of the choices made there, which I also think were bad, and you understand that here. And then for season 3, they actually don't fully go into the reasoning behind everything. And that was what's kind of frustrating. And I think it's because they're not allowed to tell certain things because this is an officially licensed product. They have to keep company line things. And so it is frustrating that there's certain behind-the-scenes stuff I wish I could know because of this, and some discussions that I would really love to know about that this just doesn't talk about. So the reasoning for the tonal switch is hinted at in the book, and there is at least the official reasoning given, but it's not a detailed behind-the-scenes look as much as you would want it to be. It's more surface level. So a lot of the stuff in this book, you're kind of like, I already kind of knew that because I had followed along with the stuff on Twitter and then the YouTube interviews and such. So this is a very expensive book. I believe in the US this costs like $50. And so if you are into collecting source books, I have a friend who is almost exclusively collects source books and art books. He does not read any novels. So for him, this type of thing would be more interesting. I don't know if he's as much a Star Trek fan, but this is the type of thing he'd be more interested in. As a novelist and someone who reads like narrative nonfiction, this isn't necessarily my cup of tea, but I can say, I can at least add this, that this can be the topper on my Star Trek shelves. I like to have certain toppers. Like on my Star Wars shelves, I actually have the High Republic topping them, and for my fantasy shelves, I have my Lord of the Rings stuff up here. You can't see that stuff, and some of my Cosmere, a Cosmere puzzle, and the Lord of the Rings movies, and a bobblehead. So I do top my shelves, and so this will definitely be the topper on my Star Trek shelf. But other than that, it doesn't have quite the weight and importance that it could have had on the behind the scenes elements. So I'm not an expert on or well read in behind the scenes books. So I don't feel qualified to give it like a numerical rating. So what I'll say is, if you're a collector of Star Trek things, maybe this is good for you. If you were a fan of one of the seasons of Picard, maybe this is good for you. If you are a fan of art stuff and you want to know about the behind the scenes production design, this might be a good thing for you. But if you're just more casual, if you're like, I only have time to buy a couple Star Trek related books or media tie-in books, this is not the book for you. So those are my thoughts on the art and making of the Star Trek Picard book by Joe Fordham. I appreciate, again, Titan Books sending me a copy to be able to review for the podcast and to discuss with you guys. Look up Literary Treks, listen to that podcast. We'll go really in detail about the book there. But until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.